everyone, Draco Magnius here for another 0.5 episode. This time we're going to be covering the golden file we uncovered in the Rec Room. Starting with Wound 1. 4th intercostal left between the 4th and 5th ribs on the upper left chest. Stab wound. A wound caused by a knife or other sharp object. Wound margin. Clean. Continuous. The wound margins are consistent with a stab wound. Wound angles. 1 sharp, 1 blunt. This is consistent with a knife wound. Most knives have 1 sharp cutting edge and 1 flat edge, which would produce this wound profile. Wound 2. Wound cavity. The depth of the wound, frequently this will match the length of the blade used. Wound length. The length, long ways, of the wound left in the epidermis. This usually corresponds with the height of the blade. Wound width. Blunt angle. The width of the blunt angle of the wound. Usually this corresponds roughly with the width of the knife blade, allowing for elasticity of the skin. Coroner. Not to be confused with a coroner. Not to be confused with a coroner. A coroner is a government official who assists law enforcement by investigating the cause of death and dealing with the paperwork and logistics surrounding corpses. It can also be used colloquially to refer to someone who performs these duties, whether or not they are actually employed by the government. Autopsy. An autopsy is a post-mortem surgery that examines a body in detail to determine the cause of death and evaluate the diseases or injuries that might be present. It is also super gross. Luminol mixture. Luminol is an organic compound with the chemical formula C8H7N3O2. When mixed with hydroxide salt and hydrogen peroxide, it will glow blue when it comes in contact with blood and certain other substances. This property has made it a useful tool in crime investigations, where it can reveal blood stains that have been cleaned up. Keep this in mind next time you're contemplating how to deal with the neighbors listening to death metal at 3 in the morning. Bracelet 2. At first glance, Kay's bracelet seems different from the others. Specifically, it appears to be attached to his suit. Although the design is slightly different, it's not a part of his suit. The bracelet is attached directly to his wrist, with a face looking out through a hole in his armor. Just like the other bracelets, it will only come off when he escapes or when his heart stops beating. And last but certainly not least, generalized amnesia. A memory condition where the sufferer retains knowledge, such as language, social common sense, and so on, but memories of their own past and personality disappear. Its cause is usually psychological, but in rare cases can be caused by serious head trauma. Case suggested that an extremely painful breakup may have been the cause of his condition. But generalized amnesia usually requires a much more powerful trigger than breaking up with someone. In fact, a painful breakup often has the opposite effect. You want to desperately to forget, but find that to be impossible, which leads to all sorts of other mental disorders, or so the person sitting behind me says. Okay? Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this 0.5 episode here. I'll see you in the next one where we leave the Rec Room.